Hey everybody, and welcome to the second part of making our parquet texture. So we're gonna continue exactly where we stopped or where we ended in the first video. So in case you haven't seen the one where we actually made this texture in 3ds Max, I advise you go back, check it out, and see how we got to where we are. So basically, here it is. This is what we have so far. Now, if you remember, we exported this out as a PNG file, so that's why it's transparent. So in order to see what's happening, I'm gonna go ahead over here and press Ctrl Shift N, make a new layer, and simply drag it beneath our base layer with the lines. So I'm just gonna go ahead, double click, and call this lines, so we basically know what we are working on. Alright, so the bottom one, I'm gonna fill it up with white so we can see what's going on. There you go. Now we can see that over here we have a bit of space that's simply going out of bounds. So we need to fix this. So again, I'm gonna delete this, the white one, the white layer that we added, and here I'm gonna go to Image and then Trim. And from here, I'm gonna hit on Transparent Pixels. This is gonna trim everything that's outside of our image. So now our image size is 1910 by 1910. So again, let's go in 2048 by 2048. Click OK. This is going to retain the size, but scale it upwards. So there we go. Now we no longer have that issue with the side, but now we have a smaller problem because we have about 1 pixel on both sides that's still invisible. So we're gonna go down to canvas size, and here, instead of having 2048 by 2048, since we need to trim 1 pixel on both sides, so left and right, up and down, so I'm going to go here, increase this by 2 pixels, and this by 2 pixels. And click OK. It's going to ask me if I want to crop this. So OK, proceed. And again, here we can see we no longer have that problem with that extra pixel. Alright, so again, just so I can see what's going on, I'm going to go and add a fill a layer, put it beneath it, and this is what we are having so far. Alright, so here's the important thing. It's always a good thing when you're working in something like this to have an open reference image like this, so so you can see if everything is fine. So like I said in the first video, I left these cuts, this one, this one, this one on the bottom, and this one. I left them out deliberately so I can show you how you can add them if you missed them. So there we go. Just like, let's say we missed them, we didn't put them in. It's very easy. All you have to do is pick a line, make the stroke black, and now simply click and drag. Hold down Shift while you're dragging. It's going to make one line like this. With the arrows, you can just move it left or right by a pixel. So if it's not in tune, you can fix it up that way. So we have that one. We need to have one more going upwards. So again, click and drag. This one is okay. Go one at the bottom. Click and drag, and here we go. One more, click and drag. Alright, so with those, we have those shapes, and we can merge them down with the line. Alright, now we need to check out and make sure that everything is fine. So when I select this, this is only selected. So just basic tests so we can see that all of them are actually not leaking through outside of their lines. But from what I can see, all of them appear to be well designed and well made. So we have no leaks, which is more or less what we wanted to have up until this point. Now, since we already made this, or the whole thing, we can go proceed to doing the texturing part, but we're gonna run into a bit of a problem. Namely, this is gonna be tiled. So as it is right now, there really isn't gonna be too much of a problem tiling this. But if we use just one tile, the repetition, it's kind of going to be visible. So there are two ways of or actually there's only one way of combating this. We need to take our basic lines that we have here and multiply them a few times so that we can use them as a guideline. Bear with me and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to select my bottom layer over here, go over to image, go to canvas size. And now I'm going to take my pixels and change into percent. And now I'm going to increase this to 200 by 200%. So this is going to increase my image in both sides by 100%. So click OK. As we can see, now it's much bigger. And if we move our area like this, it's moving, all right. Now I just need to fill the bottom again with white. There we go. Now, this is what I can do. I'm going to take this, snap it to the end. I can either Control J and copy this, or hold down Alt and move it to the side. Hold on Alt, move it down. And you're going to notice that once it's at the bottom, it kind of snaps into place. So there you go, it's kind of snaps. Now here's the important thing. Once you snap them all in the corners, you want to zoom in. And you're gonna notice that here they're not actually touching. So I'm gonna click on my move and go once up, once to the right, once up, once to the right. Move this, so twice to the right, twice up. Nice on. Okay, so now we're simply going to try to get him to be. There we go. Okay, that is okay. There we go. Now it's just one line. And we can select all of them. Control E will merge them all into one. And now I'm going to make a selection going across it, the whole thing. Go to the move, and here you have these two buttons, and those are buttons, and those are going to center it straight in the middle. If that was done correctly at the edges, you're going to notice that you no longer have any issues over here. On the top, we can see that we have some extra points, which is okay. On the right, okay. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Here, I'm going to select, make sure that that is not going out of it. It's a bit of a cleanup due to the fact that I manually added these lines. If we had done this in Max, we wouldn't have those lines protruding and we wouldn't have this problem. But since I manually did them, they are just, well, this is actually okay. That is actually it's okay to have these problems, because now you can see how to fix those problems if you have them. And there we go, that one is okay. And the more important thing is you understand why this is happening. Okay, again, delete that. And as soon as you have everything done, again, awesome. All right, again, select everything, center it. This time around, zoom in, make sure everything is fine. Everything is fine. All right, edit. And now let's trim what is outside. So bottom right pixel color. Okay. Thing that is fixed. Nope. All right, so again, trim, transparent pixels. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so this is what we are left with. So now instead of having just one guideline, we have 4. So since we have the outline, this is the moment where we have to decide what kind of a texture would we want this to be. Like I said in the first video, you can use this same approach even if it's a parquet, or even if it's maybe even marble or stone or anything. So you need to decide what kind of a texture you want to make. For the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to try to replicate something like this. So we're going to try to find a texture that's pretty much wood. So for that, we can simply go over, open Google and go, I don't know, let's try wood. Hit images, and we can see we get a lot of results because it's a very general word. So what I'm going to do is go over in the options, switch over to advanced options, image size, make it bigger than 2 megapixels. Generally that should give us a better idea or a better quality of image. And now let's try to find something closer to what we can see here, or more or less anything that you want to have your parquet be like. So I think this is a nice looking wooden texture. We might steal this one. Not really. All right, let's try this one. Yeah, this is a nice looking image. So view image, save image, and save it as anything. Wood texture 3117. All right, save. Let's go ahead and see if we can get anything more interesting. Oops, here's an interesting other one. Okay. Save. Wood texture 3133. Alright, this is okay. Alright, so we have 2 textures, and we're gonna need one more that's a bit lighter. So something like a light wood, maybe even this one. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, let's see if we can find. Okay, instead of just going wood, let's go white wood. No. Cream wood. Let's try and find something. This is more or less some of the things that you're gonna have to deal with when you're making something like this, because finding your right textures, it's always either a gamble or you're told exactly what your client wants. So for this, I'm trying to just find something that would look nice, yet the seams aren't too small, like this. Alright, let's just go oak wood. See, maybe we can find something nice like here, like this, or I think this one might be okay. But it's a very nice resolution, so it might take a while just to load up. Or not. Alright, we won't get that one. Okay. This looks no too big. Well, this is awkward. Trying to find that one particular. Well, you know what? I'm going to use this one. And we're going to do a bit of cutting in Photoshop, and we're going to save this for our project. Okay, save oak, solid oak. Awesome. Alright. So now that we have our textures, I'm going to drag and drop them into Photoshop so we can start using them in a manner in which is going to help us define how our texture is going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to click and drag into our template. Do you want to proceed? Yes, I want to proceed. Awesome. Put it underneath our lines so we can see what's going on. Here, the lines, let's try with darken. Nope, normal. It's okay. Little lines. There we go. I'm going to increase the lightness so we can better see them. Okay, we have that texture. Increase it just a tiny bit so it covers to the end. Move it upwards. Hold down Alt so we can copy it. Once down. And one more time, like this. Okay, so we have this as a base. Now, what I generally like to do whenever I do something like this, since I have some of it protruding to the edge, I would probably just select it like this, press Ctrl J, and this is going to make one more layer that's identical to what we're seeing here, but it is basically limited to what we had selected, so we no longer have any extras going outside of the border. So now this is what we do. Once we get to this stage, now we simply need to do a bit of smart selecting and masking in order to help us get the seam of the wood to be where we need it to be. So I'm going to switch over to my top here, or the lines layer, and with the help of my one tool, I'm going to try and select all of the pieces over here that have a horizontally going line. I just want to make sure that I'm not selecting two of them that are next to each other, because that is going to make it so it's going to give away the illusion that we are working off of one single texture. So this is what we're going to do, like this. So if they're not touching each other, it's okay. That kind of might have sounded a bit wrong, but you know exactly what I mean. So again, let's get those two. Okay. Do we have any others that go horizontally? No, we don't. Awesome. Now once we have this selection, we can simply click here on add mask, add layer mask, and what this is going to do is going to add the mask to our selected layer with the selection, which is making it so that it only appears to the places that were selected. So now I'm gonna go and select the layer over here, press Ctrl J one more time, go under the mask, delete it, and now simply let's try and see which ones did we miss. So we need to have this one and this one. Do we have any other ones that are going horizontally? Nope, that's it. So for this, only with that selection we can apply that mask. But before we do that, I'm gonna take my new layer that I just made and press Ctrl T to enter the transform right click and click horizontal. That is going to flip it. So we can even move it upwards a bit, just enough so we break up the flow here, so it doesn't look like it's continuing from one to the other. So again, let's continue like this. Select one here, over here, press this, and now we can see that both of these, even though they're one next to each other, they don't flow from one to the other. We can see that they're basically two different kinds of planks. Alright, so now we need to do the same exact things, but with the vertical lines. So again, Control J, move it upwards here, delete the mask, go over here and start selecting all of the places that are next to each other. Skip this one, and you pretty much get the idea so far. So again, select this one, skip that one, mask. Okay, we haven't missed anything so far, which is great. And we only just need to do one more for the two remaining ones in the middle, and we will be golden. Okay, so let's continue this one. But before we do that, of course, Control T, right click, either horizontal or just move it somewhere to the edge so it just breaks up. But this should help. Again, this one, move it, mask. Okay, great. And what we need to do is just add in a few more of these side ones and the ones in the middle, and we can finish up with this texture. So okay, delete this, delete, and this time around press Control T to enter the transform pose. Go to the side, hold down Shift, and simply rotate this for 45 degrees. This should give us a bit of leniency to work with. Hold on Shift now, drag it outwards like this so we don't have to copy it anymore. It's a very minor stretch in the texture and it really won't be that much visible. So like this. And now we need to select all the pieces that are going horizontally like that, which means more or less this one, that one, these two, as well as these two. Okay, with that selection, add this here, and one more copy. This time around though, we're gonna select the opposite ones, or this one, that one, that one. So you get the idea. Wherever the flow of the texture is going, that's what we're selecting. So now, actually, what I should have done is selected even these, but this is actually even better. Let's do it like this, and I'm going to show you how to add to the selection of the mask. So as it is like this, I'm going to hit here and add the mask. Alright, so now what I actually did is I made a bit of a problem in which I forgot to select the guys in the middle. But this is really not too big of a problem. And from what I can see, I just screwed up here because I didn't rotate the texture. As you can see, it's still going that way, and it should be going that way. But not too big of a problem because I can unlink the mask from here. And now, from on this side, I can click on right click and flip this horizontally. And now you can see this has been flipped and it's no longer making the problem. Link it, and now it's affecting it. Alright, so now how do we add these to our texture? Well, basically this texture hasn't changed at all. What has changed is this transparency mask, and the way this works, to access it you have to hold down Control or actually Alt and click on the mask, and what you're going to notice is this black and white texture. So basically it's just like working in Max. Everything that's white is visible, everything that's black it's hidden. So in case we want to have something like this visible, what we have to do is again click on the magic wand, click all of the places you want to have them be part of this texture, like these guys. Whoops. Now hold down Alt, click on the mask here, make sure you have white selected, click on B to enter your brush, simply come in and brush in these places, make sure that all of them are white. And what this does is basically it's making it so it's visible. So that part of the texture is visible. I'm going to do the same thing now on this side, but instead of being in the mask, I'm going to do it while we're looking at the texture, which is this one over here. So make sure you are you have the mask selected. I'm not going to press Alt, I'm going to stay here, but make sure you're on the mask, and with the B you just go on, you paint white, and that is going to make it so it's visible. There we go. Amazing. All right, and from all that we can see over here, now I can notice that these guys should be going vertically to the side. So let's see which ones are those. Okay, that one and that one. So this means is that we need to make this vertical. Okay, unlink this. Vertical. Nope. Okay, we're gonna go with a simple move like this. Rotation. Link it now. Unlink. Again. Enter. And link. And this is what we have so far. Alright, so I'm pretty aware that this video is going on a bit on the long side, so I'm gonna try and speed things up for the rest of the thing. So again, I'm gonna try and do the same thing, but this time around fill in the place that we are missing. So again, let's try and fill it up with color like this. Not the ideal, but the main important thing here is that you more or less get the concept, learn how this has been made, so you can do it on your own. So let's go vertical. Okay, horizontal. There we go. Just wanted to make continue. Control E. Just one more down, like this. Control E, doing the same exact thing that we already did. So if you don't want to watch me do this, feel free, skip ahead. You have that option, but I really don't want to skip anything because I want to show you guys everything there is to show. So let's just see. We have horizontal, vertical, and let's start with the horizontal pieces. There we go, this. There we go. The horizontal ones have been selected. Now add them as a mask. Make it visible. Alright, that fills up those pieces. We need to Control J on the texture, delete the mask. Alright, make sure that it's selected or rotated 90 degrees. Again, select now these guys. There we go. And once we have all of them selected, we can go ahead and reapply the mask over here. Help us with those guys. And what we are only left with is the ones that are going across. So Control J. Let's close this. Oops. Control J. Delete texture. Rotate this like so. Okay. And this is the ones that are gonna be like so. I would usually go and select just 2 of them, not 4 of them, because they're gonna be close to each other. But seeing as how this video has been on the longer side, I'm just gonna skip that. But you feel free and do it that way. That would be the right way. But for now, I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna cut some corners, hopefully, and make this a tad bit shorter, because I'm pretty sure you guys are already sick and tired of listening to me. So let's go vertical. There we go. And the only thing that's left is these guys here, the ones on the bottom. Add them as a mask. And voila, we are done with the texture. So now that we got to this point, we are nearing the end. And now all we can do is make sure we save, because we have a fairly complex selection over here. And I'm gonna go and save as, and here name this as a JPEG and call this diffuse basic and save it. Now, the reason why I chose to save this as a basic, because I want to show you the difference this is going to make once we do a few more tweaks, because what's the point of doing all the work if you don't have all the control to do whatever you want to. So if you take a look at the texture, you're going to notice that the wood, even though it's the same type of wood, you can see a bit of a difference in the hue, in the lightness and the darkness of it. So it's making it appear more interesting. Now, in order to get that extra bit of detail going in, what we can do is now select all of these layers individually. Like for example, this one, I can go over image, adjustment, and hit it with a curves or levels. For example, if I put it at curves and just switch the curves around, you're gonna notice that all of those are basically changing their color a bit now. You can see them something like this. This would make them a tad bit darker. I can go over to the next one, go again, adjustments. I can either go levels or curves, but again, let's try with the curves. Now this, you can see it's making it lighter once we push it upwards. There we go, this is okay. Select the next one, the ones that are going across. Let's, this time around, instead of going with the curve, let's try with the levels. There we go. This is going to give it a bit more look. There we go. And this is giving us a really nice looking result. Again, with these guys, the curves. All right, give it a bit more. For these, at least I don't have to always go level or curves. I can go Control U and play with the hue and saturation. I can either desaturate them or give them more saturation, change the hue a bit, make it darker, lighter, whatever suits my needs. I just want to make them appear just a tiny bit different from the rest of them. And now if we had these different selection for the for the mask, it would have been much better, but even like this, it's okay. I just want to give it some difference. So again, let's try this, like this. Okay. This is gonna work. And the only thing that's left is these guys. And let's just give them a bit more. Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as a JPEG again. And diffuse colored. Go save. Go OK. And once we have all of them, I'm just gonna select all of my layers over here, press Ctrl E. This is going to merge them all down. Press Ctrl Shift and U. This is going to desaturate it and make it black and white. And now once I have it black and white, I'm going to use a simple, not a level, but a simple curve tool to give it a bit more of a contrast, like this, and click OK. Now we can use this as a specular map. So save as, go JPEG, diffuse colored, specular. Press and save. And here's the important thing. We turn this off, and what we're left with is this image. So we can use this as our bump map. So go save as, JPEG, and use it as a diffused colored bump. And one other thing that you can do while we're here is go over to the line thing, press Ctrl J. This is going to duplicate it once. I'm going to zoom in just a tiny bit so you can see what's going to happen now. I'm going to go with my copied layer selected. I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and give it a small Gaussian blur, like maybe let's try with 5 pixels. This should work. Okay, I'm gonna press Ctrl J one more time, maybe even one more. There we go. I want to get this effect just so that when I'm using the bumpiness, it's not a flat line, but it kind of slowly, gradually goes into the dip, which is more consistently what you would see when it's wood, because wood is not stone and it kind of gradually goes into the folds. So once we have this, I'm gonna go ahead, save as, and save it as a diffuse colored bump. Let's call it 02. Okay. So that would be a wrap for this video. We covered quite a bit. I hope you guys managed to learn something new, and more importantly, you actually enjoyed watching it. If that was the case, then subscribe and hit the like button, and then come join me in the third part of this video, where we're gonna go back to Max, and we're gonna go and see how we can use the maps that we made inside 3ds Max. So I'll see you guys over there.